Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about Solana. But before we get into it, just a reminder that I am not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. I'm simply here to bring you different forms of entertainment. Today, it's going to be about Solana, but sometimes it's about Web3, AI, different cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, sometimes other altcoins, but you never know what we're going to be talking about. But one thing I can say for certain every single time is that you should make sure to do your own due diligence, do your own research, and make sure that if I miss anything, if there's anything else important that people should know, you can add it to the comments, whatever the case may be. But that at the end of the day, you're making all financial decisions for yourself, and you're not letting some schmuck like me on the internet tell you what you should be doing with your money. That being said, and out of the way, we are talking about Solana today. Now, and for those who aren't really in the know, Solana has been having a rough time as of late. It's kind of turning back around now. But we'll go over to Coin Market Cap and we'll show exactly what's been going on for the previous year. But really, it's the past 6 months. It had a huge hike in the middle of towards the end of last year. Its value shot up significantly. I remember receiving some Solana. I held on to it for a bit, and man, it shot up, and I just kept holding, and it kept going up, and I was like, man, this is doing great. And then I remember checking my account one day and being like, oh, what happened? And man, did it take a downturn. It seems to be going at a better pace now, with a bit of an uptick. That downward streak kind of broke, but it made me start to think we should talk about what's going on with it, how it's doing. Basically, I just wanted to bring up, the different technological innovations that are out there. There's a lot of new blockchains coming out. There's a lot of new layer 1 solutions that are coming into the foray, trying to dethrone previous big hitters, right? And so that throws into question, how it's going to continue to compete amongst these new blockchains that pop up, these new solutions that pop up, and it draws you into a little bit of a speculative mind. But we'll go over Solana a little bit here. Powerful for developers, fast for everyone. Bring blockchain to the people. Solana supports experiences for power users, new consumers, and everyone in between. Powering tools and integrations from companies all around the world, including Circle, Discord, Google, Jump, Meta, Spotify, Stripe. There's a bunch, and it is used by millions. It is a massive one, and median fee per transaction, super low transaction fees. It's super fast, 4,309 transactions per second. But that being said, there are ones that are getting faster and faster, right? Much like you look back at Bitcoin and how it kind of blazed the trail for all of this, you also have to sit here and think, man, there are ones coming each and every day, and some of these aren't nearly as big as Bitcoin, and so you can see the overall transactions. That's 408 trillion right there. Crazy. But and while this is a good place for developers, decentralized, the Solana network is validated by thousands of nodes that operate independently of each other, ensuring your data remains secure and censorship resistant. It is considered a pretty good one, but that being said, it is, at the end of the day, kind of maybe entering a later stage of its life cycle. Maybe this is kind of peaked and this may not go up. It's hard to say, but with it facing some serious competition from other platforms, other high performance blockchains that are coming out, you have to sit here and speculate: is it going to continue this upkeep that's getting now, this trend upward, or is it going to continue to spiral kind of downwards. And I don't know, it's hard to say. I think it is potentially going to go back up again. I don't think this is the last time we've seen it do what its entire potential is. I mean, you look back here, it hit this price before in 2021 before quickly spiking down, but it basically hit just about that same height again and then spiked down, but it already is coming back up. I think we could see it actually go exponentially higher. But I would also say that a big amount of this has to do, even though I think the adoption and the utility is there and still going to continue to be there for Solana, I think one of the biggest factors in why it had its crash was the American stock market. Without a doubt, you can see the correlation and how just after after January, and especially after you see the changes being implemented by President Trump and in regards to tariffs and the promises he was making in regards to tariffs, people started panicking. So while it's not solely reliant on that, when one market takes a big hit, it starts to kind of pull down the rest. And with the fact that it has kind of turned around, it's definitely not where it was, the American market, but with that turnaround, potentially it will start to level off again, and we'll see transfer back to normalcy for Solana, but maybe not. I could be entirely wrong there. So this is completely speculative, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, I do think the biggest factor for this was the crash of the American stock market, whatever you want to call it. The transition it went through whenever Trump took office, I think had a really big play factor on, I mean, if you look across the crypto sphere, including Bitcoin, but now Bitcoin's at a new all-time high, so that it just surpassed a new all-time high the other day, so or just yesterday, I think. So it's completely rational that it could just be having a bounce back period, but it also could just continue this trajectory for a while. It's hard to say. Me personally, I think it's probably going to continue going up for a bit, personally, but there are other contenders out there, and they could try and swoop in and become an alternative to this altcoin is how I would describe it. But that's all I really have for this one. Go ahead, check out Solana. You've probably heard of it. You probably watched, as I did, some of your value go down while having it, but I personally think that the value of it might go back up here in the, let's say, the next 6 months. I personally think it will go up before the end of the year. By the time we get to the end of 2025, I think it will have a new peak. I don't think it will have crashed as low again, but I think it will have already peaked and probably come back down a little bit, probably resting a little bit higher than like 190 or so. That's my guess, but I could be wrong. That's all I really have for this one. That's going to be it. You guys take care. Later.